And as you lie down, let's start to take in information through the skin. So you're noticing where your body meets the floor and how that feels. You might take note of one side feeling maybe heavier or lighter than the other. Or even one side sitting a little higher or a little lower. We don't need to adjust that or move that. We just kindly notice. So let's take the temperature of the air and the floor. Sense the texture of your clothing. Relax your jaw, let it hang. Drop the eyes back into your skull. Smooth across your eyebrows. And release all the muscles beneath your scalp. And here you can start to breathe into the back of your brain, noticing where your skull meets the floor. And you might even be able to feel the weight of your brain resting. Now continue to breathe into the back of your head and stretch your inhale down to the skin below your navel. And so you're breathing from your belly to your brain. And watching how the breath goes up and down the spine. And see if you can coax your breath also into your sides. Even into the front and the back. As well as the top and the bottom. So it's as if you're creating a spherical breath, a three-dimensional breath. And we'll maintain this level of attention as we move through our practice. And we'll begin. Slide your knees in. Take your arms out to cactus. As you inhale, arch your spine. So create a lift in your low back. So if I was there, I could slide my hand underneath your low back and clear it. While you're here, your chin might go towards your chest. And feel the balls of your feet drop. So your heels might slightly lift. Inhale to your low belly. Exhale, release, flattening out your low back. Now turn your tail up towards your knees. So you've got a little rounding going on. And then your hips might lift up off the floor an inch or two. They don't need to be that high. Inch or two is fine. Now tilt your chin up and back. So you're opening the front of the neck. Now press the elbows down into the floor. You'll feel this really light up your back body. Inhale to your low belly. Exhale, pull out all of the air, completely empty. And relax your spine. So we'll add this into a breath to movement, into a vinyasa, so to speak. Inhale, arch your spine, chin towards your chest, maybe the balls of the feet drop. Exhale, round your spine, turning your tail towards your knees, your chin up and back, and your elbows down. Inhale to arch. Exhale, round. Take your time and cruise back and forth through these movements. And we call this our cranial sacral rock. Rocking from your cranium, the back of your head, down to your sacrum, the base of the hips. And this rhythm is really soothing for the nervous system, very calming for the amygdala, the emotional centers of the brain. And while you do this, I encourage you to notice if one side moves a little faster than the other. Is there a side that lags behind a little bit slower? And even though this is a symmetrical movement, be aware of your own asymmetries. And that's not a bad thing, it's just the reality of it. It's what allows us to get to know ourselves a little bit better. Finish up one more round. Next time you're back in the center, you can relax. Take a moment to observe any changes through your spine. All right. Drop your left leg open to the side. Let it flop. Allow your right leg to follow, not on top. It's more like a zigzag, more beside. And let the leg bones be really heavy, softening the tissue surrounding the thigh bone. Now slide your right arm straight up overhead. Keep it as close to the floor as you can. It's okay if it lifts. So even the tips of your fingers are reaching. Take a breath into the low belly. Full exhale, dropping your belly toward the floor. All right, come on back to center. Other side, drop your right knee out to the side. Let it hang out there for a moment. Left leg follows, not on top, please, more next to or beside. Then we consciously let the bones get really heavy and drop, receiving the support from the ground. You can slide your left arm straight up, close to the floor if you can. Even the tips of your fingers are reaching. It's kind of like you're saying good morning, almost like a big wake up stretch through the arm. Let's go ahead and inhale. Stay for the exhale. And come back to center with your arms and legs. So you can stick with that, or we'll add on a little movement with the arms. Flop your knees to the left. Option to slide your left elbow down toward your left knee. And I'm not lifting up off the ground. It's a pretty subtle movement. Doesn't have to be that much of a slide down. But then once you're all scrunched up on your left side, reach your right arm straight up. Lots of length as the tips of the fingers reach. Inhale while you're here. Exhale, slide on back to center. Switch it out, drop your knees toward the right. Option to slide your right elbow down toward the knee. Then the left arm can reach straight up. Breath in. Breath out, come on back to center. All right, let's put this into breath to movement. Knees left. Option to drop the left elbow as you reach the right arm. Inhale. Exhale, center. Knees right. Option for the right elbow. Left arm reaches. Inhale. Exhale, center. And take your time, continue. We'll take a few rounds like this on your own. And if you're like me, you might be tempted to rush through this. So if you are the rushing type, always in a hurry, busy, then very consciously slow it down here. Giving yourself a well-deserved rest. Let's finish up one more full round. Next time you're through and you're all balanced out on both sides, you can come back to the center and straighten out both legs. Arms can come alongside of you, taking just a brief moment to pause. Tune into the sensations in your body. All right, bring your knees in. And with your right arm overhead, roll onto your right side. And we'll press on up to a comfortable seat. Now you can sit either kneeling or cross-legged, whichever suits you best here. And then once you've got your position set up, you can reach your arms out wide. Take your right arm underneath your left and grab hold of opposite shoulders. On your inhale, we'll lift the elbows up. On your exhale, round your spine, hug your elbows in and down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, round it in and down. One more like that on your own. Next time you're back in the center, slide your arms out so you're more holding on to the elbows. That's what they're called. Now, twist yourself over to the right. Lift your arms up and overhead. Rounding all the way over the top. When you get to the other side, start to round yourself down and forward. So just drawing big circles with the arms. As you do this, letting your hip bones be grounded and rooted. They'll move around a bit, and that's okay, but keep the weight dropping even as they do. Next time you're up at the top, or the center rather, at the top center, let's come back to our starting point. Back to your starting point, arms out to a T, switch it out. So you've got your opposite arm on top and you're holding your shoulders. We'll inhale the arms up. Exhale, rounding in. See just how much you can hollow your belly, scooping your belly in. Inhale, we lift up, let the belly inflate. Exhale, hollow as you round in. One more like that on your own. Come on back to neutral, and here we'll open the arms out, so we're holding onto the elbows this time, and we'll take it the other direction. Twisting over toward the left this time. We'll inhale the arms up. Circle over and around. Drawing full circles. Feel free to take your arms low as you go. And just working some space into the sides of the body. And following your breath, notice if the breath is shallow, and invite your breath into the more hidden parts of the lungs. One more round here. Next time you're back in the top center, release your arms down by your side. Very well done. Let's come into tabletop, all fours. You can spread your fingers out wide. And we'll send our right leg back behind so the ball of your foot is grounded. Press into your hands as you round your spine. Dig your toes into the floor as you lower your heels, so we're really stretching out the calf muscle here. On your next inhale, slide your chest forward, arching your spine, cow spine, digging your toes as you lift the heel here, so you're stretching the sole of the foot. We'll take a few like this, lifting and lowering the heel, arching and rounding the spine. Using this to work some space into the lower leg. All right, come on back to neutral here. Now we're gonna spin that back foot all the way to the floor and then swing your front leg out to the side a bit. Now with your left hand in line with your knee, let's spin the top arm up and overhead. Awesome, yes. Now while you're here, pull your right heel and your left knee towards each other. That'll create some strength in the leg. Yes. Now press through your bottom index and thumb. That'll protect the wrist a bit. So as the index and thumb press down, turn your bottom bicep out. Wonderful. Last few breaths here, fully engaged. Inhale. Reach your top arm overhead, bicep by the ear, fingertips far out away from the body. Inhale. Big movement here on your exhale. You're going to drop your knees back into table and thread the needle. So we're sliding the right hand behind the wrist, lowering the shoulder and the ear to the floor. Ooh. Once you start to settle in, you can look forward and then slide one leg back at a time. So you're lowering the fronts of your hips to the ground. If you're lowering down, you'll tuck your toes under just to pitch the body forward slightly. Then untuck your toes, rest your forehead. Breathe into your belly, feel it push towards the floor. And it's very comforting to have that extra pressure on the navel center. Allow that to bring a sense of nurturing into the body. Last few breaths. Inhale. Take your left hand by your face. As you push the floor away, slide your arm out. So keep your head low. You've got both hands below your shoulders. Child's pose. Hips back toward the heels. You can rest your skull. And while you're here, slide your left hand back so it's all face forward. You can see a little better. Sliding your left hand back so that your wrist is right below the elbow and your fingers are pointed towards you. Now, as you press your left hand down and pull out, ground your front hand down and forward, your right hand. So it's almost like your hands are moving in opposite directions. And you might start to feel a good amount of sensation in the right armpit while you're here. I don't know about you, but personally, I keep quite a bit of tension right around the armpits, the knot right about the teres minor or pec minor, one of the minors. Inhale. Exhale, you can release. Let's come on back to our tabletop, all fours. Well done. Let's switch it out. Left leg goes back this time, so you've got the ball of your foot down, lowering your heel. Hello, calf muscles. You can round your spine if you'd like to. And then lift your heel, arching your spine. Take a few of these lifts and lowers of the heel. And I like to push into the hands quite a bit when I'm lowering the heel, so much that my bottom knee kind of lifts up off the ground. And if that doesn't make sense, don't worry about it. Don't let it distract you. Just explore your own movements. All right. Next time you're back in the center, let's go ahead and spin that left foot on the ground, planting the entire foot if possible. And we're going to check in to make sure that the right hand is in line with the knee. And swing in that right foot out to the side. Now as you squeeze your belly in, we can turn the abdomen up, lifting the top arm up and overhead. Awesome job. Now a lot of times what happens is the bottom wrist gets dumped on. So instead we're going to press into the index finger, press into the thumb, and turn the bicep forward. Turning the bicep out. Awesome job. While we're at it, go ahead and pull your left heel, right knee towards each other energetically. Send a few deep breaths into the lungs. Not just top and bottom, but also to the sides. Maybe even the front and back as well. Inhale. Let's extend the top arm overhead. So you've got your top bicep by the ear. Stretch even through the tips of your fingers. Deep inhale here. Go ahead and look down, big movement here. Exhale your legs through table as you slide your lifted hand behind the lowered hand, threading the needle. Kind of like you're trying to listen to the ground by dropping your ear. Your right arm might slide straight ahead. We take a few breaths in this first position to start to settle into it. You can either stay here, or if you did on the other side, look forward and slide your legs back one at a time, lowering onto the fronts of the hips. If you're lowering, tuck your toes under to send the body forward a bit, and then untuck to rest the skull. And you're invited to bring it into your navel center. Feel it push towards the ground. The navel center, at one point, our portal to existence, our connection to source, our mothers. And so here we allow that to bring a sense of nurturing, support, and the feeling of being cared for. And we welcome that sensation. Last few breaths here. Inhale. Return your right hand by your face. Slowly, you'll slide your arm out. Try to keep your head low here. And slowly move back towards child's pose. Your toes can touch while your forehead rests. I'll face forward so you can see a little better. We'll take our right hand, slide it back, and kind of out to the side so that your elbow is right over your wrist and your fingers pivot towards you. Now, as you press your hand down, pull it out, pressing your front hand down and forward. Now, especially if you're the index and thumb of the front hand. As you press your hands in opposite directions, allow that to stretch out through the armpit into the pectoral muscles. You might notice some tensing of your neck. Do you need that? Can you drop that? Can you let your head rest a little heavier? Last few breaths here. Send them into your left lung. Inhale. Exhale, release. Let's go ahead and slide on up to a seat. Very well done. On your seat, you can sit to the side, bring your legs around. Go ahead and hammer out the backs of the legs. Give it a good little shake. And once your knees are in, let's drop the knees to the right. I'm going to mirror you. So you'll drop to the right and I'll be your mirror. Now you have a choice here. Your back foot can stay however it wants to be, or you can put the top of your foot on the floor so it's more like a hurdle. Then turning to the right, hands come down to frame the knee. Full disclosure, I think this might be my favorite pose. It feels so good. So we're gonna screw the right hand into the floor, really plant it in there, kind of like you're putting the lid on a jar. Then start to slide your left arm forward. I like to do this slower. You're welcome to go as fast as you want. I like to take it nice and slow and observe the variety of sensations that accompany this movement as you start to lower. And so it's like we're resting the weight of the torso onto or around that right leg. You might even get to the point where you let your head just hang. It might even touch the floor or a block if you've got one of those close by. And I invite you to breathe into your belly. Feel it push towards your leg as you inhale. And as you exhale, grow your spine out from its base. Continue to breathe like that while you're here. You might even drop a little more weight into your hands. See if your hands can inform the sensation here at all. Notice if the mind starts to wander, possibly thinking about maybe dinner. If so, take your attention back to the sound of your breathing, its texture, its rhythm, even its temperature. Last breath or two here. After your next exhale, you can slide your left hand back by your face. Use your hands here to do the work. Use your hands to push the floor away and bring you back to center. Hands onto opposite knees. Close the eyes momentarily. Awesome job. Let's switch it out. Take your knees the opposite direction. Consider finding the hurdle with the back foot if your knee is okay with that. Then we'll go ahead and turn toward the left leg. Hands can frame the knee. Glue your left hand towards the floor, then start to slide your right arm away. Feel free to go fast or slow, whichever you choose. Take in the quality of sensation as you do. Where do you feel the pose at first? And where does the sensation begin to move, if anywhere at all? Once you've kind of found your max depth, and feel free to let your head hang. Allow all the weight of your torso to drop down. Possibly even resting your forehead to a block or the ground. Or maybe just hanging in the air. And then once we've arrived and kind of settled in, then we start to practice that fullness of breath. Breathing not only laterally, but finding even a spherical breath, a three-dimensional breath. As if you're stretching your body from the inside out. And for many of us, we have a lot of constant internal dialogue throughout our day. And we have to. We need that. It's helpful. And we can use this time to practice turning it off. Allowing the batteries to recharge. Allowing the repair that needs to occur. The rejuvenation that is possible. And so for your last few breaths, listen to your inhales, listen to the exhales, the same way that you would a dear friend. Letting your attention express value. Inhale. Take your time. You can slide your hand back in. As you're ready, press the floor away. Use your hands to do that. And coming back to center, hands to knees. Close the eyes. Allow the body to process. All right, nicely done. Let's come up onto all fours, returning to your tabletop. And in your table, step your right foot forward and kind of wiggle it so it's more in between your hands. Here we'll straighten up the front leg. Again, flare your toes, point your toes, do something with the foot. As you push your front heel down and pull that heel back towards you. Front heel pushes down as it pulls back, and your hands press down and forward. And allow this to really activate the back of the leg. So let's go ahead and inhale to stretch the heart forward, even the left hip forward. And as you exhale, you can relax your chest down. It's okay if it doesn't get that low. A few more breaths here. Inhale. Lifting up, come on back into a lunge position, bend into your front knee. Go ahead and let your hips get low and your heart lift up high. I like to press the back foot down as I do this, so it's almost like your back foot is down and forward. We'll take a few breaths in this position, and then we'll alternate coming in and out. All right, inhale, straighten out your front leg, let your spine grow long. Feel free to push the heel down if you'd like. Exhale, rebend, letting your hips drop and your heart lift. Inhales, straighten. Exhales, bend. You keep cruising through these. Go ahead and take a few more rounds on your own. You're always welcome to pause as well. If you find a spot that feels really good and you're like, oh, I want to hang out with it, you're always welcome to do that. Next time you're back into your lunge position, go ahead and pause there. And let's go ahead and switch out the legs. And step your left, that's what it is, it's the left. The left foot forward this time. We'll start out with our half split by straightening the front leg. Spread out your toes if possible, so you're really active through those. And feel your front heel slightly push down and pull back. You're welcome to use your hands, press your hands down and forward. I like to kind of lean the weight back and forth just to feel that kind of change, that shift, the sensation in the back of the leg. So you might even move your foot by pointing the foot back and forth. Kind of exploring the hamstring. On your inhale, let's stretch the heart ahead. Exhale, consider softening your heart down. Last few breaths. Inhale, lift. Let's come on into our lunge position, letting the hips get low and your heart lift high. You might even push the top of your back foot down. We got a few breaths here into this position. Sending your breaths into that front right hip space. On your next inhale, go ahead and straighten your front leg. Come to your half split. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Continue, go ahead and roll through a few on your own. If you are the rushing type, you might stay in each pose just a split second longer than you wanna. Using this as a patience practice. I know my own internal rusher, which I so am, hears the words patience and it's just a big ol' eye roll. And that's how we know that we need to practice more. And finish up your last one. Next time you are in your lunge, Let's step back into our table. And go ahead and take a seat on your heels, pausing momentarily. Let's join the thumbs together, kind of completing this circle. Close your eyes momentarily and breathe into the back of your brain. Feel the back of the skull lift as if it were a balloon. Allowing your spine to be the string. Bring your awareness with you as you open the eyes, set your hips to one side. Legs can come around. Let's bring the bottoms of the feet together and we'll scooch the heels in towards the hips. You can hold onto your feet. Let's lean the weight back. So I'll kind of sit to the side so you can see a little bit better. So leaning the weight back. So it's very much this balance, this resistance with the arms. Now turn the eyes of your elbows forward. You'll feel that peel your collarbones open. Tap into your core muscles so you're moving your thigh bones back and sending your pelvis forward. It's a very subtle action, but with enough practice, you will sense the subtleties. Drop your chin down to your chest, let the back of your neck be very long. You're welcome to stay here in this position, or you might explore a hinge forward. It doesn't have to be super far, right? So when we explore this hinge, you're welcome to round your spine or keep it straight. There are two different poses, and I'm gonna let you choose the one that you would like to do. Because we all got different spines. We all have our own unique needs. But whichever you choose, breathe in a way that sends your ears away from your shoulders and your shoulders away from your hips. And I like to use the elbows to very gently guide the legs down. So I'm not pushing, not shoving, just a little gentle encouragement. Last breath or two here. Inhale. Exhale, come on up. Can release, use your hands to close your legs. Good news, time to roll onto our backs. Once you are here, give yourself a nice little hug, a little rock and roll action side to side. And setting the bottoms of your feet down, let's take a half happy baby. So half happy baby will grab hold of the outside of your top foot. If that's just not happening for you today, you're always welcome to do shin, maybe hold the back of your thigh, just creating this shape any way that you can. So let's press through the bottom foot as we think of dropping the top knee. As you drop your top knee toward the floor, press your foot into your hand and your hand back into your foot. Some of you might be able to straighten your bottom leg. We won't be here very long. I know that's a lot of work. If you are straightening your bottom leg, consider pointing or flexing your foot. Pick something to do with it. Doesn't really matter what. Almost done. Inhale. Exhale, rebend your knee. Go ahead and cross your top heel over it. Figure four pose. You'll press your heel into that space above the knee. Then as you bring your left knee in towards you, you can either do hands free or grab hold. As you hug your leg in, use your maybe your elbow, maybe your belly to move your right knee out and away. Are you scrunching your shoulders up, and do you need to? Can you let those drop? Become aware of the back of your skull. Let it drop as well. The back of the skull houses our autonomic nervous system, in charge of sleep and appetite and all kinds of wonderful things that happen without us having to make it happen. And slowing down is one way we bring healing into that system. You might notice that when we go really quickly, really fast, that's when appetite gets disrupted or sleep gets disrupted. So by slowing down, we can balance out those automatic systems. Inhale. Now listen close here. You'll exhale, release your hands, hold on to your top foot, and put your bottom foot back where you found it on the floor. Now I'm gonna reach my arm so it's more on the outside, so I got enough room here. Then I'm gonna turn the sole of the foot towards my face. Turn the sole of the foot towards the face. And you might feel this in your inner groin area. So here's a few options. One option is to stay. Another option will be to drop your knee toward the floor and lift back to center. Knee toward the floor, lift back to center. And repeat that action. And it doesn't have to be all the way toward the ground, it can just be towards. So stay still or towards the ground, or maybe you'll draw little circles in the air, seeing how close you can get the foot towards the face. And you might draw bigger circles as you go out and around. You might even play with straightening your bottom leg for your last few breaths here. Almost done, promise. Wonderful job. Inhale. Slide your bottom knee back where it was. Release your hands and straighten your top leg. Make some little movements with your toesies, your ankle. Kind of shake things out. All right, and now we switch. Cross your left heel over your right knee. Nope, that's not what we did. We did a half-happy baby. Almost forgot. Can't forget our half-happy baby. So you'll grab hold of the outer edge of your foot, or anywhere on the leg really, and drop your knee towards the ground. And you might even hug your inner thigh towards your ribs as you do this. You can get strong through your bottom leg for some extra support by grounding your bottom foot. As we push the top hand into the foot, push your foot back into the hand. So lots of resistance between the two there. Last few breaths, you might even play with straightening your bottom leg, which brings a whole new element of sensation in there. If you're straightening the leg, be sure to point or flex the foot, one or the other. I like to point today, because every day is a little different. We'll inhale. Bend your bottom knee, cross your top heel over it. Figure four pose. Then bring your right knee that is, towards you, maybe using the hands if you're able to. Then as you guide your right knee in, let's actively move that left knee out. You can use your elbow for that, your core muscles. Of course, check in with the shoulders, make sure you're not wearing them like earrings. And feeling the base of your skull, the back of the head, rounded, rested. From behind the ears to the spaces in between the toes. Fully relaxed. Permission to recharge. And if the mind starts to wander, tune into where you feel the pose the most. Name it. Then stretch the attention. Where do you feel the pose the least? There's no shoulds with this. You're just noticing. Inhale. We'll release the hands and the bottom foot so that we can grab hold of this top heel. And I always think of it like you're presenting your foot, which is kind of a funny thought. And you'll use your hand to turn the sole of the foot towards you. And you might feel this in the inner groin. You might notice this side feels real different than your other side. Be prepared for that. So you can stay here or move your knee toward the floor and back. Find this just kind of back and forth action. Or you can use your hands to draw little circles. Just kind of starting small, circling out and around. And then maybe getting bigger with your circles. This is very much a listening exercise. Full disclosure, I am a recovering interrupter. So this gives us an opportunity to listen to what the hip has to say, where its rotation is. Listening also to how the breath responds to this rather abnormal rotation, right? This is not a shape that we make a whole lot. Last round, a breath or two here. Nicely done. Next time you're back to the center, you can release your legs straight up. Go ahead and make some moves with your toes, your ankle, shake it off. And in conclusion, let's come into full happy baby. So you can either just press your knees open, feel your low back flatten, or grab hold of the outer edges of your feet, also flattening the low back. If you're doing the feet, push hands to feet, feet to hands. Think of dropping shoulders, dropping skull. Soft in the neck, soft in the face. You might even play with straightening one or both legs at a time. When you're through, you can release your legs long, your arms long. Close your eyes. And we allow ourselves to connect. Connect to our inner landscape. And you will be interrupted by thoughts. That is okay. You just allow the thoughts to pass like clouds through the sky. Each time we return home to the body. Return home to the present moment. And we use that returning to create belonging in the body. We belong here in the here and now. We belong to this sense of connection. We can belong to the comfort that it brings. And so enjoy a few moments to bask in belonging. Bask in your own unique being. I'll wake you in just a few moments when we're through. And start to deepen the sound of your breathing. And take any movements in your body that feel natural to wake up. With your knees in and your right arm up, you can roll onto your right side. Taking a little moment here to reset. And coming up to a seat. As you're ready, with your eyes closed, your palms connected, bowing your chin towards your chest. And as we finish out our week, may we notice when we've left our body. Notice if the mind is racing through the future, the past. And may we remember to come back home to our bodies. Come back home to the present moment, to receive the belonging that resides here. Thank you so much for practicing with us this evening. Namaste.